Yeah, I'm starting to lose count. I don't even know what number we're on anymore. 33, episode 33 of Table Talk. I believe your comments, your reactions, very much welcome. Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're streaming us, thank you for doing so. I am Mo Lightning. To my left is the smart one, as we determined before the show. She is Lindsay with an E. Lindsay, how are you doing?
Doing great. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing well. By the way, I'm the pretty one, if you wondered.
No,
and then the creepy one belongs to the WWE Hall of Famer who loves the nickname, and I kid you not, the old man baby. Yvonne, how are you?
Ew.
I'm doing great. And, you know, from the reaction of our guest this week, I don't know if he agrees with the old man baby thing. I think that kind of creeps him out. But then again, he's got to understand, I got nothing left. So I guess I can only be the creeper.
You take what you can get. You take the scraps. You know what I mean?
I take what I can get. Absolutely.
And of course, you see the other bright smiley face there. Former WWE champion, member of the New Day, 25-time tag team champion. I'm not really quite sure, but ladies and gentlemen, Kofi Kingston.
Yeah, baby. Kofi, the man of the hour. Kofi, welcome to Table Talk. It's been such an honor to know that you are coming on the show. We have all been waiting and anticipating, and you're finally here. I mean, damn, welcome, man. Welcome.
Oh, wow. The anticipation, you know, I appreciate it, man. Thank you guys for having me on. You know, you being on our podcast, you know what I'm saying? We had to pay it forward. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody wins. I was going to say it's called like synergy, but I'm not sure that that's the right word. So
listen, I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you, Kofi. I mean, in all honesty, and only you and I will understand this, Lindsay and Mo may not, but you actually owe me. You owe me for being on the show.
How so?
I mean, sir, excuse me, sir. Let me elaborate. I come back after a 10-year hiatus, okay, and we get into a program with the New Day. Not only do I get hit with a damn instrument in the back of my head and slapped in the back of the head by your so-called partner, one of them, then I get the splash out of nowhere from Big E, where I think my sternum was crushed, worse than Hogan was at WrestleMania 2. And then, to make matters even worse, I have to get spin kicked by the hardest kick that I have ever gotten hit with, knocked me out. If it wasn't for Bubba coming in and making the save, there's no way that would have been a kick out. To this day, I have memory lapse and thinking I'm back in ECW.
Wow. So two things. Number one, what I'm getting out of that is you're saying that you owe your career to Bubba. That's pretty much what you just said. And second of all, I think you might have got me confused with somebody else. So like I said on our podcast, like a lot of people get me confused with R-Truth, you know, like Truth, you know, he lays it in. And then most importantly of all, you know, the Dudleys, when we found out that we were going to go up against the Dudleys, you know what I'm saying? The rugged, hardcore, you know, Dudleys. If I would have come and bring a kick that was fluff, as they say in the biz, that would have been really, really disrespectful. So if anything, the only reason, and I don't think it was me, if it was me, if by slight chance that it was me that kicked you, he probably would have, you know, I probably would have done it out of respect. You know, because I don't kick everybody like that. You know what I'm saying? But the Dudleys, you know, the masters of the tables, you know, get the table hardcore. You went to Japan, strong style. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. I would have to lay it in. You know what I'm saying? Like otherwise, it's just disrespectful. And the people, you know, they would have turned on me. You know what I mean? They would have turned on me. You're not hitting the Dudleys hard enough. All right.
And I thank you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart that you're respecting me, but do me a favor, please don't respect me no more if I get back in the ring with you. Be as light as you possibly. Hell no, I ain't coming back. Hey, if I do come back, it'll be to slap Xavier right in the back of his head the way he did me. The shot heard around the world. That's what I will come back for.
Where was this a couple of weeks ago when we had Big E on the show, Devon? I don't remember you complaining to Big E about any of this.
Oh, no, I did in the very beginning. No, Kofi. No. I did in the very beginning. I told him that my sternum hadn't been the same since I got crushed from that first splash. So, right now you can't see me because I'm sitting down. I'm rubbing my chest, and it looks like I'm rubbing my nipples. But, again, I ain't going to get what? I'm not being a creep. I'm just saying
let you
it
live.
hurts.
They're your nipples, right?
Yeah, hey, see,
they belong to you, right?
Kofi.
You're
my favorite out of the New Day. Just saying. And Mo and Lindsay, me and Kofi are like this all the time. So it's going to be an interesting show today. I'm just letting you know.
Wow, I'm just going to sit back, relax, and just take this all in.
Fantastic.
Yeah, man.
Now, Devon probably told you this was going to be a light-hearted podcast, nothing serious, just table talk. But I do have to hit you with something you probably haven't been asked for a while.
Okay.
Are you booty?
How dare you? You asked me if I'm booty. We came up with a cereal that specifically allowed people to not be booty, and then you ask me of all people, am I booty?
Yeah.
Wow, sir, that's just insulting. What did Vader say when he came onto that show with the morning show, whatever? I didn't come here to be insulting. He yoked him up. You lucky I can't reach through.
No.
Reach through.
I didn't
come here to be insulted, man.
Reach through. Grab him. Reach through.
Come on, man. One of the pioneers of Bootio cereal. One of the pioneers to bring back a food product to WWE after what? 2 decades?
Yeah.
And you ask me if I'm booty?
Sir, yeah.
You
see my name. I got to make sure you ain't booty. That's it. All right.
I was going to compliment you on that. Now you went and flipped it. You turned on me.
Fantastic.
You know what? Maybe I just want to make sure. Maybe something happened over the last couple of years. Maybe you became booty after you were world champion. Could have gone to the head.
Who is this guy?
Who do you think you are?
Whose man is this? After like it's a guest. First of all, you put yourself on top of me as now you're lording down over me, and now you're insulting these insults down from the heaven. You push the squares up. Golly.
I know.
Kofi, this is what I deal with every week on the show. I get these two jumping me all the time. It's crazy, man. I'm going to tell you right now, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's what you get. You bring in a rock radio morning show host, you're gonna get some jackass comments. It's just what
Kofi, one of the things that I never got to, even though we worked together and this and that in WWE, one of the things that I never really got to talk to you about, and one of the things I wanted to bring up is your title run with WWE. And don't get me wrong when I say this, in terms of the fans that are listening, but a lot of people are looking at you as actually being the first African American to be able to carry that title. Now, we had Booker T, we had Mark Henry, and we also had The Rock. And The Rock, of course, being half Samoan and half black, but still, in terms of let's just say Booker T and Mark Henry, that wasn't the belt that actually represented the company. The one that you held, that you beat Daniel Bryan with, that's the belt that a lot of African Americans have been waiting for a long time for one of us to come in and hold that title. And I think you were the guy that held it. And again, I'm not taking anything away from The Rock, not at all. And I love Rocky. Him and I had great times and did marvelous things together in the ring. But again, the people really, brought you in as the first African American to actually hold that title. What are your thoughts on that?
It's and I agree with you too, man. I think it's sometimes kind of silly that people try to not count The Rock in that category because regardless of what you look like, you are what you are. You know what I'm saying? He's black. Whether he's half black or back, he's black. So, but I definitely take a lot of pride in that sentiment, like you said. I think for a long time, people of color, especially African Americans, have been waiting for someone who looks exactly like them, to hold that championship title. And I mention it all the time, but on Twitter and social media, the moment that happened, I got so many different messages and people in tears. There's a video of actually Shad and MVP crying. You know what I'm saying? And,
which was very legit.
Yeah, and that and Pete doesn't like when I bring that up because he doesn't like to be known that he cries. You know, he must be a tough guy. But it just means a lot to be able to. What's important to me in this business is to be somebody that inspires other people to go out and like do great things. Like winning championships is cool and everything like that. I think when I was a kid, that's what I wanted to do. But the more I guess like seasoned I become, the more I realize that it's really all about just kind of like paying it forward and being able to motivate people to go and follow their dreams. So for me to be someone that young African Americans can look to and say that anything is possible because I saw it happen, it's a big difference than saying anything is possible in theory, right? You think anything is possible in theory, but to say that it's possible and believe that it's possible because it's happened is entirely different. So because you've seen it, you know, and I feel like, you know, there were just so many people on social media who had sent messages, like I said, and you know, adults who never thought they would see the day that they saw someone who looked like them become WWE champion, and they got to see that, you know, or and then little kids in the same way, and then the parents of the kids looking at their children watch this moment, you know, it's so powerful, you know. So and then, you know, my kids as well, just like being able to do that and in front of them, and then to have them be in the ring with me while all of that was happening in front of 85,000 people, just amazing when you think about the gravity of the situation. Because, you know, you think about where we were in wrestling like 100 years ago or even like 50 years ago, you would never, you know, you would never think that, you know, you just didn't see a lot of African-American people in positions of championship or positions of, I guess, substance, for lack of a better term. But now, I mean, geez, last month, the majority of the champions in the company were African-American, you know? And it's not to be like, oh, like, yeah, we did it. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, like we've come a long way as a society, man, like to be in this, you know, so we take a lot of pride in that. We take a lot of pride in being able to say that we have come a long way. I think, obviously, with the climate of where we are in society today, we definitely have a long way to go. But there are little pieces that happen and tell us that we are kind of like marching one step at a time to where we want to be ultimately in a society. So the fact that wrestling and WWE can add like a little small piece in the grand scope of things is pretty awesome. And for me to be at the center of it all is pretty amazing and pretty humbling in a lot of ways.
Good.
Yeah, mooching off of that there, Mike wants to know, how do you feel watching some of the reaction videos like Shad and MVP, fellow African-American wrestlers?
It's just amazing because this was never like, you know, my goal was to become WWE champion at some point, but I never sat back and said, you know what, I want to be the first African-American or African-born WWE champion. Like that part of it never, it just kind of started happening. You know what I mean? Like, and again, like I think about the fact that if Ali doesn't get hurt right before Elimination Chamber, does this happen? You know, are we even talking about this moment? This wasn't part of the plan. It wasn't like someone came up to me 11 years ago and said, you know what, Kofi, for 11 years, we're not going to let you even sniff the WWE Championship. We're not even going to let you have a match. And on the 11th year, you know, we're going to say that, you know, we're going to have someone get hurt. Like this wasn't written. You know what I'm saying? Like this just happens organically. And I think that was like part of the like why it was so special was because it was out of nowhere, and then the people started demanding it, you know. And it wasn't just African Americans; it was people of all different races. And I think to me, like that's the best part, because my story is one of struggle, right? Anybody who has been through anything or who has wanted something has had a point in that journey where you think, hey, can I do this? I don't know. Like the cards aren't looking like they're lining up. I don't know. But then they can look to my story as somebody who is like, who stuck with it and fought for 11 years and tried to control what he could control and just gave it his all for 11 hard years. And finally, you know, the opportunity came and I was ready to like capitalize on that opportunity because of all the preparation. So yeah, it means a lot seeing all like the reaction videos. I've said this in a lot of different interviews, but it took me legit probably like 3 days to get to the bottom of my timeline. And like, cause I watched everything. And I take a lot of pride in being able to go through all my comments and like interact with people and read everything. But it just like kept loading, it kept loading and legit for like 3 days, and then I'd like be on it for an hour, 2 hours straight. And then, go off and then like 4 more hours. I'm like, okay, but I'm going to get to the bottom of it. So I watched it all and like compilation videos. It's heartwarming because at the end of the day, man, like I'm just a dude who decided to follow his dream, and to be able to like inspire people in that way. I feel like there's a lot of people who don't follow their dream, and you never know like what would happen if you did, and luckily for me, like I know because I was lucky enough and brave enough, I guess, to like pursue this wild, crazy dream. And here we are just like breaking records and, inspiring people to go out and do the same. So, it's all good. It's a great feeling. And, I feel like I have a lot more that I want to do. So I try not to like kind of like reflect too much on it, because I'm always thinking about like, what else can we do to bring to the table, to bring something positive to the table. But, I have taken a little bit of time just to kind of, say that it is pretty cool, because it is.
Well, it's great because one of the things I've also, I've watched you when you first came into WWE. I've watched how you've grown. I've watched the amazing things that you've done leading up to, them giving you an opportunity for that title run. And it's been great to see you evolve the way you have. It was just truly incredible. When I heard that the opportunity was going to be given to you, my thing was, in this business and in life in general, I was always told, if it's something you love in your career, whatever you want to do, be ready, always be prepared, have your bags packed and ready to go at the door. So when opportunity knocks, you're ready. And I think those 11 years building up to that point, you did that. You did exactly what you were supposed to do to get to the level where you needed to be. So when opportunity did knock, you were ready to go.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. For sure. You think about that. You never know what you're preparing for. Right. So like you said, it's just so important to be prepared. I think if I were to have won the WWE Championship in my first year, I wouldn't have been ready, But over the years, like getting more responsibilities and doing more interviews and, visiting, just doing like more appearances and having a full plate really prepared me for the level of, I guess, a commitment or just the amount of like tasks that I would have as the WWE champion, because even as prepared as I was, the food on my plate got even bigger. There were so many more opportunities that came about, but I was glad to be able to carry that ball for as long as I did, and then even like a 6-month reign it's a long reign, you know what I mean? So, I was definitely ready for it. And it was 11 years of training. And then match wise too, like being in the ring with like excellent veterans, like yourself, you know what I mean? And like, I remember, so when we first were told that we were going to be facing you guys, I don't know if you remember, but you guys were in the trailer all day in Brooklyn. And then finally, midway through the day, like, okay, you can go talk to him now. Like, okay. So we go in and you guys are in there. And I remember just like on the inside, kind of marking out, because like these are the Dudleys, man. Like, and I feel like if it was early in my career, I might have been nervous to the point where like I wouldn't have been able to like perform as well, or I'd have been like a lot more nervous. But again, having wrestled a lot of different legends, Jericho, you guys, interacting with Shawn Michaels, meeting Mick Foley, like talking with Stone Cold, like Booker, Mark Henry, so then you kind of like you get used to it, at least on the outside. You know how to like portray like, okay, like, yeah, I'm cool. Yeah, it's all good. Like I know these guys, but on the inside, like I would have been marking out to the point where like I might have not been able to perform as well, So there was a lot of help along the way. It wasn't just me, I had a whole lot of help along the way. We could talk about myself and Woods and E in the New Day and the opportunity that I was given by being grouped with them, and just the development that we all had as a group and how much that helped me. I mean, we could have a whole 3-hour podcast and talk about all that, but I talk about it all the time, man. It wasn't just me. I had a whole lot of help along the way.
Now I want to talk about your championship victory. I used to do a lot more moderating at Comic-Cons and whatnot in the past, and I talked to Seth Rollins when he cashed in at WrestleMania and Daniel Bryan's first WWE title. They had a common theme of not really remembering anything about the match itself. That's still a blur to them until they held that title. Do you remember that moment?
Yes. Honestly, like everything for me was like a cinematic like movie. It was like a cinematic experience because everything seemed to happen in slow motion. And I thought this is where D-Von was going to earlier, but when I was told that like they were going to actually go like forward with the storyline of me like advancing and winning the WWE Championship, I was like, oh, okay. And I wouldn't allow myself to get like caught up, and I wouldn't allow myself to actually believe it, you know, because so many times in our industry, you have situations where you're told one thing and the opposite happens like the next day. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't until like, thank you, bud. I got a little kiss on that. Even until like it wasn't until I saw like the compilation package right before the match in Gorilla that I was like, oh my God, this is happening, you know? So I remember everything. I remember the match. I remember Daniel being out there. I remember the like the people in the crowd. I remember looking over at my family. You know, my dad was at WrestleMania for the first time.
I remember that.
You remember too. You were there, right? Them getting in the ring. Like everything kind of just kept happening at like this. And I know I've said this in a bunch of interviews, but I'll say it again. Like, so as soon as that, like the ref's hand hit the mat for the 3, I remember like my eyes just lighting up and like everything kind of got quiet. And I'm like, oh my God, like it actually happened. Like we did it, you know, like we did it. And it was the greatest moment of my career. And then all of a sudden Woods and E dogpile on me. And I'm like, oh my God, like we visualized this moment, man. Like we talked about this, you know, from the moment where people were telling us that New Day sucked throughout the entire arenas and they'd be beeping New Day sucked in the garages. Now here we are, like we made it to the top. We talked about this. This is the greatest moment of my career. And then all of a sudden Woods goes down and grabs the title and then he brings it up to me and I'm holding it up and they hold me up on their shoulders. I'm like, oh my God, like look at all the people in the crowd, 85,000 people going nuts. People are crying. Look at all these emotions. I'm feeling all this energy. This is the greatest moment of my career. And then all of a sudden, like my family was in there and then the kids came in there, you know, and then my son Kai ended up getting the title and then he holds it up like this is the greatest moment of my career. I'm holding my son. And then he goes up to the second rope and grabs a t-shirt. And I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna fall off the second rope. What is he doing? How did he get there? So he holds the t-shirt up first, you know, and then he throws it out and then he's like, yeah, and the crowd is just going nuts. And this is the greatest moment of my career. Then my wife gets in there, you know what I'm saying? All the sacrifices that she's made, you know, over the years, being home with the kids by herself, you know what I'm saying? Being home by herself. Thinking that I'm going to come home on one day and then I give her a call and say, no, it's going to be another week. Sorry, she hasn't gotten any sleep. This is all the sacrifices that we made. We did it together. Here we are. This is the greatest moment of my career, you know, and I'm looking in the crowd and there's my dad, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh my God, like all the years that I would be wrestling in the front yard, you know what I'm saying? And he would come out and tell me not to get hurt and this and that. And now here's like this. I'm like, Dad, this is why I was doing what I was doing. This is the greatest. So it just kept like getting, it was like fireworks, you know what I'm saying? And just getting more and more explosive and just like awesome. And it was just amazing on so many different levels. And then going back to read all like the you know, the comments on social media and like just the love that I felt and that everyone shared was just, it was incredible. It was a truly, truly incredible moment. I'm so blessed to have experienced even a tenth of that, you know, but to me, that's a moment that can never be taken away. And if it were to all end today, I could always have that moment. You know what I'm saying? So it was just amazing. It was amazing on so many different levels.
And one of the greatest things I like about this, Kofi, is the fact that you are truly a family man. You know, your wife, your kids. It was amazing to see your little boy grab the title, jump up on the second rope. And guys, for those of you, the fans, and for those, you know, Lindsay and Mo, his son is actually, I think, if any one of his kids are going to follow in his footsteps, it's going to be that one. I think he can do more exciting things than Kofi. He's doing it now, and he ain't even able to do it fully. But it was amazing to see that. But I think that's what America needs to know. Needs to know that, you know, Kofi being an African-American male, He's out there with his family. His family is taking sacrifices so he can go out there and do his thing. But yet at the same token, they're together. They're a family. They're a unit, you know. And so many times is that in the African-American community, people on the outside honestly think that we don't have it together, that, you know, we're all whatever. The fact of the matter is this: Kofi not only winning that title, but to have his family come in at that particular point in time and show the unity and how they did it. That's what I'm saying. That's what being, you know, an American is all about. That's what being African American is all about. We're about family. We are about love. And that's what we try to get across all the time. I know there's sometimes negative press, there's sometimes negative whatever, but at the same token, that night, Kofi, you took it and just blew it out the water. And I was so proud of you. You know, again, me being in the business, doing what I did with Bubba, and then seeing, you know, Mark Henry and Booker, and again, and The Rock, but not taking anything away from those guys. But from what I saw that particular moment, when that 1, 2, 3 happened, like you said, it was just an explosive thing. And it was like the shot heard around the world when you won that title. And it was, again, Kofi and big lights. I'm so excited. I can continue to talk for days, but it's about you. And even though I'm making it about you, this is showing you how proud I was at that particular moment with you and your family and everything. It was just a tremendous feat. And something that you brought up earlier, when you got to Gorilla and your name was still there and everything was still in place, you kind of like, wow, this is going to happen. Because we all know, as recent, it can change like that.
We're dancing around it a little bit. You know,
yeah, we are.
Recent is recent. Yes,
it can change like that. So again, Kofi, my hat goes off. And again, my brother, not only in the wrestling business, but in real life in the world, and my brother in Christ, I love you to death. Thank you.
I appreciate that, man. Love you too, man. Love you too.
Thank
Oh,
you.
honor.
I'd say we get to 2 more questions. I know Lindsay wants to follow up on something we talked about when Big E was on the show. But
it's a pretty serious question, yeah.
Yeah. So before we get to that, though, a lot of people in the chat, a lot of people in the comments wanting to know, and I'll just pick one of them, saying that you have the best Royal Rumble moments. How do you come up with them?
I don't know. I've been kind of getting a run for my money over the past couple of years. You know what I'm saying? But you know, for me, it was, so John Morrison was the one I always give credit, because he's the one who got like knocked off the barricade, and then Spider-Man on, you know what I'm saying, like Spider Monkey on the barricade and like came back on. But then the year after that, he wasn't with the company anymore. So I was like, I mean, if nobody's gonna do something like that, maybe I'll take it. I'll do that spot, you know. So then I did the handstand, and again, this is a situation where like I get a lot of credit for these, but everybody else that's involved like has to do their part. Otherwise, like I can't, like, you know, if Miz throws my feet too far, I fall over. You know, I can't do the handstand. If Matt Bloom, trainer for NXT, is his official name now, catches, you know, doesn't catch me on his back, and he throws me onto the table. You know, if he doesn't do his job, like I don't get the credit. You know what I'm saying? If I get thrown into the rosebuds and they all like drop me, like then they don't do their job and I don't get the credit. So I don't know. I as far as like coming up with the spot, like I don't ever like put the pressure on myself to do it. It usually comes to me like a week before, maybe a little bit less. And usually, so I used to have like Hornswoggle. We used to room together. And that's a whole nother podcast. You know what I'm saying? You know, so we would always just kind of like go back and forth. And he would kind of like, you know, give me a little bit of ideas. We'd bounce ideas. And then all of a sudden we come up with something. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really put pressure on myself to actually come up with it. I feel like if I don't come up with one, then I won't, you know? So it'll be what it is. Actually, like last year, I think was the first time where it wasn't really a thing for me. You know, it was more the story that we were telling was a little bit different. But by the same token, I think we had an incredibly cool moment. Number one, with me coming out there and you know, that up until that point, like Brock and I hadn't like touched since October 4th. Just that 7-second special, you know, went down. That the classic, you know, that if you blinked, you might have missed it. we hadn't touched since then. You know what I'm saying? But so that was cool to be able to finally like go back and like confront him, you know, but then to do it with like Big E and then to do it with Ray. And now all three of us, you know, who had like a history with him are going back and forth with him. So like that was cool. But you know, as far as like the inception of the spot, like I don't really put pressure on myself to come up with anything. It either comes if it does or it doesn't, you know. So but I've been lucky to have experienced so many of those moments, you know, and become like the Rumble guy. You know, very funny.
Fair enough. Lindsay, you get our last question here.
Okay, so a couple weeks ago, we had Big E on the podcast.
Yeah.
And we asked if New Day had a new breakfast cereal or breakfast food coming out, what it would be. And he said, what did he say? Scrambled eggs? So just curious as to what you think.
And everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would yours be?
What
would yours be?
You know what? You went to go into like pulling out from the trunk and everything. So I'm gonna go with sausages.
Okay.
Pull out some sausages and then you throw them out. And you know, and the thing that would be funny about the sausage, which would also be funny about the scrambled eggs, is that like when you get hit with the pancake, it just kind of like bounces off. You know, and you,
I know.
Pancake.
I know.
We throw it out, you know. I feel like it'd be really funny to get like, you know, scrambled eggs. If you throw a whole handful of scrambled eggs out, like, oh my God, like you asked for it, but did you really want it? You know?
Especially if he pulls it out of his tights.
That's the thing. And then so, you know, with the sausages, I feel like it would be the same thing. If you know, you get hit with the sausage, it's like, did I really want to get hit with the sausage? I don't know. You know? It happened, and it would be pretty funny to see. So I guess off the top of my head,
okay,
you know, coming out of the pants, sausages.
I love it. Sounds great.
Mini sausages, big sausages, whatever you got, you know, whatever you got. Yeah, I'll say sausages.
Okay. All right.
Sounds good.
DX had the glow sticks. New Day can have the
you wave
sausages.
The inflatable sausages, you know, just waving them around and everything. Sausage might be the way to go. I don't know.
Hey, Devon, you're familiar with waving your sausage around, right?
Well, from time to time, I've been known to do that.
Okay. Gotcha.
There's kids around here. You got to be quiet.
Well, I know that you're a busy guy, Kofi. You got some other projects that you have to get to, but sincerely, thank you so much for your time today and putting up with all of our absurd questions.
Thank you so much.
Of course. No, thank you guys for having me on, and thank you for having a fun podcast. A lot of times we'll go and have interviews that it's all like serious questions or people don't know what they're talking about. Obviously not you guys. So thank you guys for that. You know, it's been a blast.
Well, I always like to say, you know, to the listeners, tune in. It's just table talk, just having fun. And that's exactly what we are. We're not going to sit there and try to be all serious and this and that. We want you to have fun. You got the kids on there with the unicorn. I mean, you got Lindsay's dog. My daughter's sleeping. I had to put my daughter to bed because if not, she'd be running the course. So I just But you know, that's just the way we do things here, man. We just want to be just as cool and calm and collective and just have fun. But I will say this, man. If the day comes where the Royal Rumble is in the effect and you're in that ring and that number hits and all of a sudden you hear pyro, just know it's not me. Just saying. There's a lot of other guys with pyro. It doesn't necessarily have to be me.
Never say never. The table is always around. The table is always around. It's like what is it? Candyman. You say his name 3 times in the mirror and he appears. A lot of people say that with the tables. They put the table up and they say your name. All they gotta do is say it 3 times.
No,
you know,
don't do that.
People might appear. I'm just saying.
No,
don't
do that. Nope, don't do that.
Yet another superstar that thinks you're going to come out of retirement, Devon.
That's because you keep instigating. You and Lindsay both. Stop.
I did not bring this one up.
Yes.
It's a matter of time.
You did.
It's a matter of time. You know?
My man. Well, Kofi, again, thank you very much for your time and, you know, give my best to your beautiful family. I know your boys is right there. And again, congratulations just on, hey, buddy, on all your success and everything that's coming. And you know something, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think this is the end. I think there's more to come. You know, and I used to always say, even with my career, if you thought chapter 1 was good, wait till you get a load of chapter 2. I can't wait to see chapter 2 for you, my friend.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you, my brother.
I still got about 4 years on my contract anyway, so I hope it's not over now.
Oh, absolutely not.
That's
why I said I'm waiting for the continuation and for it to still go on. So no, my brother, testify, because it's not over.
I love it. Yeah.
My brother. Take care, Kofi.
Hey, you too. Appreciate y'all, man.
Bye. Thanks so much. I really want my unicorn horn.
Oh, we can get you one. We can definitely get you one.
Okay. I'll wear it on the show. Every show.
Hey, listen. AC said Mo and Devon, book it.
Yeah.
Understand one thing. I'm good with that. I will lay down and let him beat me, because I know if I have to do a match fully, I know they're going to have me continue this match. And again, I'm retired. I don't do this stuff no more. I love it.
Did I tell you guys about the unicorn horn? You were talking about how you just wanted one of those, Lindsay?
Yeah.
So,
no, you didn't tell us.
So I actually worked with the New Day in Portland, Oregon a couple years ago. I was one of their hosts, one of the moderators for Comic-Con. And in celebration, I thought I would get one of the unicorn horns for the stage. And actually, I'd done a panel with Paige ahead of time. She stole it, wore it during the panel. I got it back for the New Day. And afterwards, I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And my best friend, he's got a couple daughters, and one of his daughters, huge New Day fan. I'm like, okay, we'll just give her the unicorn horn. Oh, she'd love that. Oh, that's great. That's so sweet. And then over the next few weeks, I start noticing he's posting a bunch of pictures of himself wearing it. He hadn't given it to his girls yet.
Oh my goodness!
Like, when the hell are you going to give it to your daughter? Well, I thought it was kind of cool, so I'm wearing it.
I'm gonna wear it some more.
You know, it's funny when they first came out with the unicorn, and I remember seeing it. I just remember going, "Oh my God, what are they wearing on their heads?" And then someone said, "Well, Devon, it represents the unicorn, because that's their gimmick." And I said, "Oh my God, that's god awful." And then as time went on, I did. I'm not gonna lie. I tell them that all the time. I'm like, "Oh my God, it looks like a big penis on top of the head." And so
of course you would think that.
Of course I would. The dirty old baby man, So so I as time went on, you got to get used to it. It became like a thing now. So when you saw that, you knew it was a unicorn, representing a unicorn. And number two, it got over with the people. It's the most silliest things that get over with the fans. When you have to put thought into it and try to really come up with something, it doesn't work. I can't begin to tell you how many times people have sat in the back and, well, oh my God, what can I do? Oh my God, well, maybe I'll do this. And it flops. But things that happen either where you just, whatever, it just happened, you in the ring, you see it and you do it.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Or you sit there and you just go, something, let me try this and see what happens. But you're not really putting any thought into it. And all of a sudden it happens.
You're like the what's up. You've told that story a couple times here on the show. I mean, like things just happens. And
it really does. And like I said, me and Bubba were in the car leaving the Amway Arena in Florida, going to our hotel. And because we were leaving back, because at the time we lived in New York, and he was like, what about that what's up thing? And I'm just like, man, that's the most ridiculous thing I'd ever seen. And then next thing you know, we started doing it. And then next thing you know, now when people see me, hey, Devon, yes, what that? And I'm just like, what that?
You love it. You love it.
I actually, at one of the Comic-Cons, I think, Lindsay, you were with me. I think I actually, the original guys that did the Budweiser.
Yes, he was there.
Yes, you were there, and he came to me, and I hadn't seen him in years, because we actually did a thing on WWE TV. I think it was on Monday Night Raw with the APA, and I hadn't seen him in years. And all of a sudden, he comes up to me as I'm signing autographs, because he was like next in line, and he goes, "What's up?" And I go, "What's up, man? What do you want?"
You're like,
and he just goes, and Lindsay, she has this look at her, oh man, Devon's about to. And she goes, you don't remember me, do you? And I go, here we go, Lindsay. Here's another one. You don't remember me. Humor me. Right. No, I don't know who you are. What do you want? And he just goes, bro, it's me. Remember? What up? I just went, oh my God. I go, I'm so sorry. I said, I came from around the table, gave him a big hug.
Yeah.
We joke about it to this day. We still speak to each other on the phone, social media, and he goes, "You still remember me? You still remember me?" It was funny. It was really funny.
We need to get him on the show so we can get the true feelings from him about you stealing it.
For sure.
Well, he keeps saying that I owe him, endorsement money and visuals and things like that. So I tell him to go see Uncle Vince.
What is it? Possession is 9/10 of the law, or whatever the expression is. If you did it better, that's not your fault.
Well, I mean, again, I think you hit the nail right on the button there. I mean, me and Bubba did actually get the move over without a Budweiser. I mean, we might have used a table or two, but we got it over.
Nice. Everybody doing all right? Everybody staying relaxed here in the wild 2020 here?
Yeah,
I mean, say,
yeah, just relaxing, sleeping a lot.
Binge watching.
Mm-hmm. I binge watched a show in a day. I finished the second season of Umbrella Academy.
Tell me about it. Spoilers. Is it amazing?
It was amazing, but it was also so different from the first season that I had to get used to it. But then you just fall in love with all the characters again, and it's amazing. Highly recommend it.
I gotta watch that because you're the second person that's told me about that, Lindsay. And
was it Mo and then me?
Well, the title doesn't seem interesting to me when I hear it, So I'm like, all right, but then other people are raving about it as well, and they said they can't stop watching it. So it's just one of those things I gotta watch. I just got finished Blacklist on Netflix. I finished. Oh God, it was so good. I saw that one, and then if you go on Amazon, the season, I think it's season 7. Had finished a couple of months back. They put it on Amazon, so we had to buy it for $10, I think it was. Mm-hmm. And Taylor, my wife, she's just like, I can't wait. I can't wait for it to come on Netflix. I go, well, I don't want to pay for it. I said, no, just wait. I said, we already paying freaking Netflix and all. I said, no, I don't want Amazon to do that.
No, I side with Taylor.
Yep, I will
basically. I will pay to finish the show.
Well, that's exactly what we did. We wound up paying for it. But I'll tell you what, it was worth it. So for the listeners out there and you guys, you need to watch Blacklist. It is extremely good, and I recommend it. And if you don't, I'll put your ass through a table. Just as simple as that.
Damn, he's getting aggressive.
I'm scared. Serious. Okay, I hope I like it.
And his old man baby age, he's getting aggressive.
Old man baby. They get all of it.
Yeah. With that, so let me get your thoughts on this. So just this week, they announced that the live action Mulan, the Disney movie Mulan, is going to skip theaters now, because all these movies keep getting pushed back. So they're going to release it next month in September to Disney Plus. However, it's not free for Disney Plus subscribers. You still have to pay that premium $30 to see the movie.
$30.
Which would be similar to what you would get if you were just doing a VOD, like pay-per-view streaming for whatever your service is. But do you think it's going to be successful? Devon, would you spend $30 on top of your streaming service price to see a movie that you otherwise can't see in theaters?
Well, again, it goes back to my point with Blacklist. I mean, I could have waited until it came on Netflix or even regular Amazon, but I paid $15 to see season 7. So there are going to be people out there that's going to do it. It all depends on how interested you are in the movie. And listen, Disney fans will go way and beyond the cost of watching their favorite shows, especially on Disney Plus. And I feel it's going to be huge. Listen, with everything that's going on right now with the pandemic and like you said, movies being pushed back, I think if an opportunity like this comes up, I think if fans are waiting for it, they'll do it. Think about how much money you spend at the movie theater with just 2 people. You spend way more than $30. So, you got to figure the tickets. You got to figure the soda, the popcorn, the candy, and whatever else you buy. Exactly. So with that being said, you're going to spend a whole lot more. Not to mention also, Mo, here's a question for you because I don't know. When you buy it, can you save it and add it, especially if you love it? Can you keep it for that $30 as well?
So I don't know how long Disney Plus is going to hold on to it if they're going to release it to other outlets after the fact, but it's premiering on Disney Plus, and they did say as long as you have a Disney Plus membership, you'll be able to keep the movie.
Well, see, and that's another thing. So you have to understand, if it's a big hit with the person that did order it, then that's even better, because not only that, but then they can watch it anytime they want after paying $30 for it. And, you know, all three of us, including the people that are watching, when we find something that we love to watch and that really, really makes us happy, we'll watch it over and over again until we get tired of it. So I don't see anything wrong with Disney doing it. I think that's a huge, huge thing for them. I think that's going to really pay off for them in the long run. And I think you'll hear huge numbers when it all comes out.
I have a different perspective on it, and I agree with everything you're saying. But for me, I was one of those guys that I have literally 3 AMC theaters in town, and so AMC did something called the A-List, which for my state is $22 a month. I could see up to 3 movies a week. And that's any format. I could see the same movie over and over and over again on IMAX for $22 a month if I wanted to.
Okay. All right.
So when I got used to that, I was doing that for a year and a half before the pandemic hit. And then this hits and it's $30 for one movie. It's hard for me to justify that because I'm so used to 22 and that's like 12 a month.
Man.
Well, I mean, again, some people, like I said, will go way and beyond, especially with Disney. They'll do it. Yeah. They'll wind up doing it.
Yeah.
But then there's others like for me, you know, again, I didn't see the use of doing Blacklist, but Taylor did, you know. So even though there was a difference of opinion on that, they won. They got my money. So
yeah, they did.
You know, yeah. So I mean, eventually they're gonna wind up getting it. You know, if someone else in the household is interested or just as much interested as you are. Either way, I think it's just going to be a huge success. I think it's a smart move on Disney's part to do that. And again, you're going to get your people that's not going to agree with that. And like you said, you wouldn't do it, and I get that. But you might have a little bit more, and it might benefit Disney for them to do that they will profit off of it, and they will make up that money for it not being in the movie theaters.
Right. There are a lot of people online really upset that it's not included in their cost of Disney Plus, and I think that's a little extreme because these companies are trying to make money. Lindsay, any opinion on this?
I mean, my mind's going all over the place. So before the pandemic, my daughter and I were just hanging out and decided to watch Frozen 2. And I bought it on Amazon because it wasn't out yet. We really wanted to watch it. And then I literally the next day, Disney Plus announced that they were releasing it early because of the pandemic. And I was like, well, now I have it, but I paid for it. What do I do? So Mulan isn't one of my, it's a great Disney movie, but it's not like on my top. Like I'm Lion King, Aladdin, Little Mermaid. Those are my top 3. So personally, I'm fine waiting for it to come.
How basic of you. Oh my God.
What?
How basic of you. Ugh.
I'm basic. I don't care. But so Mulan, I would wait. I want to watch. I'd wait though. But like Taylor, if you're hooked on a show and there's a chance that you can see that next season, but you just got to pay for it, I'll pay for it. But I'm all over the place. But also the whole $30 to see a movie that in your home, which is great, but the experience of the movie theater, that would be more worth my $30 than just sitting on my couch watching it, I feel like.
But Devon's got a good point because, you know, with multiple kids and whatnot, if you're going to the theater to see a movie like this, that adds up very, very quickly. So
true, with a $20 small popcorn and the $75 drink.
Exactly. So if you got a family, something like that makes a lot of sense. But if it's like just me watching, you know, I could probably hold off and pass on it for a little bit. But nowadays, a lot of families, they have like a room just dedicated to
a big screen in a room with surround sound. So
The
sometimes you
bathroom.
can make that.
Yeah.
I
The
want
bathroom
that.
is all mine. So you can actually make that theater, feel like you're in a movie theater. I mean, again,
How many people have
every,
that?
no, but not a big room. I'm not saying, but some people have an extra room. Some people have an extra room where they can.
I have
do
an
it.
extra room.
Yeah, but
Can I set up a
but it's,
GoFundMe page to make it a home theater?
I think we can do that. I think we can. I'll be willing to put my dollar in to support you.
$1. $1.
But I don't know. It all depends on the individual and how they feel. And
Exactly.
again, I also feel that some people who just are actually in love with that movie or whatever movie it might be, they will be willing to do that. They'd be willing to pay the $30. Listen, I'm a huge Rocky fan. I love Rocky. $1 make Lindsay holla. I'm I'm a huge Rocky fan. Again, that's where my character comes from. But if Rocky, was to, make another movie and all of a sudden it was going to do the same thing where, they were going to put it on Amazon or Netflix and you had to pay an extra cost, including the cost you're already paying monthly, I think I would do it because, again, I'm a huge fan of it. So, again, it all depends on the individual, on what
Exactly.
they like and what they desire. And, again, yours might be different from mine, from Lindsay, from everybody else. But, again, it all depends on the individual. I just feel you will have a lot of people out there that will pay for it as opposed to not paying for it.
That's fair. John needs a fill-in on the softball team. Devon, you down for that?
I'm down for it. I've learned how to concentrate and not swing for the fences. I learned how to just eye coordination, take my time. It's almost like golf, So if you need me, John, I'm there. I will testify.
Are you only a designated hitter, or do you actually play the field too?
I actually played the field too. I used to be I used to catch the ball and listen. The only reason why in high school the coach actually told me that he, allowed me to be on the team was because I could catch and throw the ball. Now, it took me some time to learn how to hit the ball. That eye coordination just wasn't for me. So, but I was able to go out there and run and play the outfield a lot better than I could hit. But again, I learned that if you don't try to swing for the fences and kill the ball, take your time, I think then you might connect. And I think I learned that later on when I did play. And even on I used to be a disgruntled postal worker before I got into the wrestling business. I used to be very disgruntled. And they had a softball team. And so every time I would strike out and whatever, I catch my ass off in the field, but I'd strike out all the time. And then somebody came to me who was a batting coach and gave me that type of, thing. He said, listen, don't try to kill it. He was like, the power will come. He's like, you just got to relax. It's almost like playing golf. You got to relax, eye coordination, and swing. That's it. And he corrected me on my swinging as well, but it worked. But it too bad that it worked towards the end of the season.
What position did you play?
Right field.
Okay. Isn't that where they put the bad players?
What are we talking about?
I'm sorry?
What is this, like a sports ball thing?
Yeah, it's a
yes,
sport.
It is a sports. And what happens is, Lindsay, I'm going to help you out on this one.
Thank you.
There's a guy. He has this thing called a bat, but it looks like a stick. And then this other guy who's about a couple of feet away from him.
Unicorn?
Exactly, unicorn. Yeah. He throws this thing they call a ball. Okay, and when he throws that ball, the guy with the big stick has to connect with the ball. And at that point, if that happens in that circular motion, the ball actually can go far, far away from the batter. Now, the object of this game is to actually hit the ball over this thing they call a fence.
Are you writing this down?
Write it down. Get it ready. Yeah. And when it goes over that fence, no, just go back to the replay.
Hang on. Keep going.
I would love a segment on this show of Devon explains things. Devon mansplains things.
I love it. Mansplain.
Listen, I can do it. It's only a matter of time. I can do it.
Yeah. So like this week it's baseball. Next week it could be the proper piece of toast. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know how to make toast. Devon better teach me.
And you probably think I'm joking, but I like the idea of a Devon mansplains things.
No, I actually love it.
Listen, that's another time for another show, and the way you set it up, Mo, and I'll do it all day long. The fans can write in.
We're doing it.
Explain.
If anybody has ideas,
Devon's mansplaining corner. Write in what you want to hear about, what you want to learn about.
Like if you're not quite sure how the birds and bees work, Devon will mansplain it to you.
Absolutely.
Mansplain it in a good way.
9:15 is when you're needed there, Devon.
9:15. All right. Well, hey, listen, give me an address and we're good to go, my friend.
He did say earlier that he'll buy you a Gatorade and a hot dog.
Oh, sweet.
Just give me the hot dog. I'll take the hot dog.
What's wrong with Gatorade? You don't like Gatorade?
Gatorade fills me up. You know, you got the salt and the sugar and things like that, so it kind of gets me a little bloated.
So the much healthier hot dog option.
The hot dog, but I'll eat it without the bun.
Oh, okay.
I'll lose some of the calories.
Makes it healthy.
Yeah.
Do you know how a hot dog is made, Devon? Because that would be a great mansplaining segment.
Oh God! And you know the unfortunate part is I do. I
know
how it is. Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
Can we do that next week? Can we please do that next week?
Oh, absolutely. It's
go ahead and put it for next week's notes.
It'll make you never want to eat a hot dog again. I tell you that much.
Well, it didn't work on you apparently.
No, apparently I just
choose over Gatorade.
Block it out. Listen, Gatorade sometimes is not the greatest drink in the world, you know. So I mean, you know, it can hurt you or make you feel better. Either way, you know. Sometimes it hurts me a lot more than it makes me feel better.
I am curious, Lindsay. People are now starting to send me like wine memes and stuff like that. Hey, pass this along to Lindsay. How does it feel being the podcast lush?
I am okay with it. I feel like it's an excuse for my personality and awkwardness. So I blame it on the wine. It's great. Okay. I love it. Send it my way. Yeah, why aren't you sharing it with me more?
We love your awkwardness. I love your awkwardness. Mo loves it. It's great. This is why you're a part of the threesome. It's great. I love it.
Wait, what?
Wait, I didn't mean.
This is why I need wine.
Devon, can you mansplain a threesome?
Let me tell you something. If we do that,
I don't know
that's like a special course. We're gonna have to pay people to come online and hear that one. Not to mention, we're gonna have to go to church when it's all said and done. I'm just letting you know that. Just letting you know.
I didn't know how to make it right.
We gonna make Lindsay holla
in like terror.
Yeah. Listen. Me being as old as I am, I take how I can get it. If it's in terror, I'll take it. Let me tell you.
Old man, baby Devon.
Old man, baby.
So old.
Baby. All right. So next week we'll do Devon mansplains, and we'll learn all about hot dog. We'll all learn about his meat process.
I've been a vegetarian for 4 months, and I'm kind of glad now.
See,
yeah.
AC's down.
Yeah, okay. We're doing it.
At Wrestling Audio and all the hot spots. Thank you for interacting. Any idea who next week's guest is, Devon?
Well, you know, it could be a couple of people. It could be another member that we have not had on the show from the New Day. And it
Francesca
could be,
too. All right.
Yes, indeed, my friend. Or it could be a certain female that I think a lot of people love and adore. And I'm working on that right now. Well, we already have her every week, so that's great. We adore her to the fullest. We adore you to the fullest, Lindsay. But this next guest, who I could probably get on the show, will probably, let's just say, it'll make people's hearts go ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. Just saying.
Well, I don't know if our hearts can handle that between you and this potential guest, Devon.
Oof. Oh, my goodness.
It's always been that way. Got nothing but love for this person.
Ooh, wow.